Welcome to Bain Speaks. Today, we're ranking NFL teams' chances to win the Super Bowl. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. Now, in the no chance category, this is probably pretty easy. We got the Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, Giants, Titans, Patriots, and Raiders. Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, I think is pretty self-explanatory. Same with the Patriots. The Giants, I do not have a lot of faith in Daniel Jones. I think that team needs a lot of pieces. And the Raiders, I like the coach. I don't think the Raiders even have a quarterback that can win a playoff game. Now stuck. These are teams that I don't know what to do with. They're in the middle of transitioning quarterbacks. They transitioned coach this year, just got a new coach this year. First team I have is the Seahawks. A couple things. Geno Smith is kind of stuck. I don't know if he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, maybe not even a playoff game winning quarterback. Brand new coach, but they have some good pieces, so I'm stuck with them. I don't know what to do with them. The same thing with the Saints. They have a bad coach. Derek Carr's not the best. They have an old, decent team, so I'm stuck with them as well. The Falcons also in the stuck category. I don't know why they decided to go out and pay $100 million for a quarterback. Kirk Cousins is okay, but they are more than just one piece away from winning the Super Bowl, or even making the playoffs, or winning a playoff game. I don't know what their idea is. And the fourth team in stuck is the Buccaneers. I like Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers, but I don't think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's kind of stuck there. Now the promising teams. I have the Colts. They have a really good coach in Shane Steichen. Anthony Richardson didn't play much last year due to injury, so it's a big opportunity for him to prove himself this year. Michael Pittman's back. They got Alec Pierce. I believe they just drafted another wide receiver. Jonathan Taylor's back. Their defense should be getting better because they drafted, I think, one or two defensive backs this year. So they're definitely promising, but they are not Super Bowl contenders this year. The Cardinals, I think, is also a very promising team. Their coach is we don't really know what to say about him yet. Gannon, I believe his name is. Kyler Murray's coming back from the ACL tear. I think he's going to have a really good season, to be honest. James Conner's getting older, but I don't know. He still puts up decent amount of yards and fantasy points and stuff like that. I don't know. I think they're promising. I like their coach. I think Kyler Murray could have a really good year. The Vikings. This is kind of a tough team for me. J.J. McCarthy is not the answer, in my opinion. Sam Darnold is not the answer. But they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones. Their defense isn't the best, but it's not like terrible. They aren't the worst. That's why I haven't been promising. Now, these are teams that are just a couple pieces away. The Dolphins, I think, are just a couple pieces away. Their defense needs some more help. I mean, yes, it was all injuries last year, but Xavier Howard was terrible. I don't know who their other defensive back is, to be honest. But I love their offense, obviously. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, every running back you want, fantasy-wise. Tua, I think, does a decent job. I just think they need a couple more pieces on defense. The Browns, I think, are a couple pieces away. Their defense is good at home, bad on the road, so maybe they can figure that out. Deshaun Watson needs to play better. I think they need more pieces on offense, such as wide receiver. They haven't really hit on a wide receiver. They have Amari Cooper, but he's getting up in age. Nick Chubb's back. But I don't think they're Super Bowl favorites or even contenders this year. I think they're a couple pieces away. The LA Rams in a couple pieces away. Sean McVay is a great coach, obviously, top 3 in the league. Matt Stafford, still a top 7 quarterback when he's healthy. They got Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. They got that running back. His name is escaping me. Kyron Williams is his name. Their defense was suspect, and they lost Aaron Donald. I think they're a couple pieces away. They need to fill in some gaps, but when you have Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, their offense is good enough to win some games. And the last team a couple pieces away is my Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense right now is a Super Bowl ready team. They're one of the best defenses in the league, and they had a great draft. Now, offensively, I love Najee. I love Jalen Warren. Hopefully Russ plays well, but they only have George Pickens. May as well have George Pickens and two 12-year-olds out there. They need more offensive firepower to make a run at the Super Bowl, hopefully next year. Now, a year or two too soon. These are younger teams that may need a year or two to get more talent around them or develop in the league. I have the Houston Texans first. I love CJ Stroud. I think he's top 5 in the league already. but I think he needs more experience to go out and win a Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to win a Super Bowl in his second season. Although they did put a lot of good pieces around him with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins going to be back, Tate Dell's going to be back, Joe Mixon. Their defense is really good now. I think they got Delaney Hunter on one side as well. Was that the Texans? But I think the youth of C.J. Stroud is going to hurt him in probably the AFC Championship game. And the Chicago Bears also a year or two away. Caleb Williams, obviously a rookie. He's not going to go out in the playoffs and win a bunch of games. But I do think in 2 or 3 years, I don't see why they couldn't be in the NFC Championship game. And the Lions, this might be a little controversial. Dan Campbell's a really good coach. I just don't know if Jared Goff is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Maybe they should be a little bit higher. Maybe they should be just outside. I don't know. I just don't know if Jared Goff can get it done. Trevor Lawrence, this is similar to the Texans, except their team's not as good. I think Trevor Lawrence, if he gets experience in the playoffs, he could be a really good quarterback, and that team could be pretty good. And Doug Peterson's not a bad coach. But for some reason, their free agency was horrible. They didn't really do anything. They got Gabe Davis and lost Calvin Ridley. Like, that's not a very good one-for-one trade. Chargers as well in the 1 or 2 years too soon. I don't think you can bet against a Harbaugh. He's going to get a system in. It's going to take 2 years, like this says, but he's going to get the team he wants around him, and he's going to play well. He's going to make sure Justin Herbert has the game plan that's going to make him sure he wins. And if you don't think Justin Herbert is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, you're absolutely insane. He definitely has the talent to prove it, at least. And the Packers are the last team in this section. Jordan Love obviously had a great second half of last season, and so did the other young guys. This team is full of young studs, but like I said, it's not going to happen this year, maybe not even next year. But this team will be in the NFC Championship game within 5 years. And teams just on the outside, the Baltimore Ravens. This is more of, they don't have offensive firepower. They have Lamar. They traded Hollywood Brown a couple years ago. Who do they even have? I'm blanking on the wide receivers they have. All right, I got it here. They got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, Dontez Walker. I mean, these are not Super Bowl caliber wide receivers. Obviously, they have Mark Andrews, who's really good, but he's getting older. And Derrick Henry as well, but he's getting older as well. I mean, I don't see them as a Super Bowl winning team this year. And the Bengals also on just outside. First, Joe Burrow needs to stay healthy. Their defense was horrible last year. I know they're trying to shore up their secondary, but their defense was terrible. Their offensive line was terrible. They lost Joe Mixon. I don't know how Chase Brown's going to do, or Zach Moss they got as well. I just think this team is just on the outside. They are not Super Bowl favorites to me. The Cowboys always do well in the regular season, suck in the playoffs. I don't know where to put them, so just outside. I think the Bills have to be up there if they have Josh Allen. He's that type of quarterback. Now, James Cook is probably going to get the ball a lot more this year. They have a rookie wide receiver in Keon Coleman. They got the Shakir dude. Who else do they got? So their wide receivers are Curtis Samuel, who is about the same as Gabe Davis. They got Keon Coleman, who is a rookie, so he's going to take some time. Matt Collins, I guess, is pretty decent. MVS, Chase Claypool maybe. So they don't have the wide receivers. I don't know if they have the firepower. I think Josh Allen might turn the ball over a lot this year because of that. Might try and force some plays. And maybe James Cook has an all-time season for him this year. But I think the Bills are just on the outside. The 49ers, Super Bowl favorites, obviously the best defense in the league, best running back in the league, 2 of the best wide receivers in the league. I think this is a no-brainer. Obviously, they're a Super Bowl favorite. The Kansas City Chiefs as well as a Super Bowl favorite. Their team is 2 times better than last year. They got better wide receivers. Their defense is stacked still. Another year, Patrick Mahomes. Another year of Andy Reid. Travis Kelce's getting a little bit older, but I don't think it matters. This team might three-peat. I'm being serious. And the Eagles, this might be a little controversial. I kind of like them this year. Adding Saquon Barkley is huge. Getting A.J. Brown and Slim Reaper, what's his name? I forget his name. He won the Heisman. Under contract. Their defense is shored up. It's going to be tough losing Jason Kelce as leadership, but I like him. And finally, the last team, the Jets, as Super Bowl favorites. Aaron Rodgers is still one of the very best quarterbacks. This defense is very good. I don't know if they're ready to win the Super Bowl, but I could see them making it to the Super Bowl. Their defense is pretty damn good. Even with Zach Wilson as their quarterback last year, they kept him in some games. They got Garrett Wilson. They just signed Mike Williams from the Chargers. They got Breece Hall. They got another wide receiver. His name's getting out of here. The Jets are a Super Bowl favorite. Make sure to sub and let me know what you guys think of this list.